Welcome to the learning channel. Let's talk procurement session about the terminologies used in the procurement. First terminology is terms and conditions. This is basically a rule that must be adhered to during a contract or agreement is known as term and condition. So if you have noticed that you are going to sign any agreement or the contract, even you're going by the postpaid SIM, so you have to sign some agreement or contract. So on the bottom there's mentioned term and conditions. So these are the rules which are explained well about the agreement, how the agreement will be executed, and what will be the termination process or procedures. Either there is a penalty or not penalty, or it will be the mutual understanding and the contract or agreement will be cancelled. So these are known as the terms and condition. Trigger event. This is a set of circumstances that start an activity in the procurement known as a trigger event. For the any procurement process being to be started, there is a set of the circumstances which trigger all these things is known as trigger events. Collaborative agreement. This is a long-term agreement between buyer and seller which agreed the obligations and the way to share the things such as information, cost, risk, and the result by working together on a service or the product. That is known as a collaborative agreement. Capability. The ability of supplier or services provider to meet an organization's specific business requirement is known as the capability of the business. Buying of contract. The purchase of any item without a contract when contract of the item already exists is known as the buying of contract. Cost out approach. The elimination of a cost in the manufacturing of the product or delivering of the services by means of removing any item from the specification. For example, that you have seen many different type of the stretcher or the bed in the hospitals, and they have different specification and they have different capacity. So on base of the specification, their cost has been allocated. So if you want to go for the cost out approach, you will remove all those extra specification which is not required for the organization or the business. That is known as the cost out approach. Cross-functional collaboration. Group of people with different skills and specialism coming together to achieve a common goal or purposes is known as a cross-functional collaboration. For example, in your organization, procurement department, finance department and sales department, when they are working together to achieve the goal or the same project or trying to accomplish the same project, that is known as a cross-functional collaboration. Profit. The amount by which revenue of the company exceeds its cost. So if the company is generating the money and exceeding the cost is known as the profit for the organization. Asset value. The value of everything in the organization or the value of everything an organization owns is known as an asset value. For example, the furniture, computers, machinery, all those known as assets value. ROI is return on the investment. The measure of profitability that indicates whether a gain or loss has been generated compared with the initial cost is known as the return on investment. Product cycle. Product life cycle. The stages a product goes through from initial concept through to decline and removal from the market is known as product life cycle. Call off. The purchase of an item using a framework agreement that has already been through a procurement process is known as a call off. Productivity. The efficiency and effectiveness of efforts required to produce or do something measured in the term of the rate of output per unit of the input is known as the productivity. RFI. Request for information. A document used to gather information about suppliers and their capabilities prior to a formal procurement process or before going to register the supplier in their list is called the RFQ. Basically, RFQ is required while any organization is going to tie up with any other supplier. Before going any tie up or agreement or contract, they have to know about the capacity and capability of the supplier, that either the supplier is capable to produce the product or the services without any disruption in the future. So they make sure that they have all the right and transparent information from the supplier. RFQ. which is stand by request for quotation. It is an invitation. Basically, it is an invitation to the supplier to provide their best quote or the bid on the specific product or services is known as a RFQ. I hope that these terminologies will help you to show off as a professional in the organization, and you will understood well, and this will help you to enhance your efficiency and effectiveness in the organization. For more learning, please keep in touch with my channel. Thank you.